Hi, this is Tim from Strictly Ceilings. Today we'll evaluate the differences between vinyl ceiling systems and metal systems. If you're familiar with our videos, then you know that we are an independent suspended ceiling company on a professional level. Most of our work involves metal suspension grid systems, and you can learn more about us, including how to install a suspended ceiling, by going to our website at strictlyceilings.com. On a residential or commercial level, you will find almost all ceiling grid systems are metal-based grid systems. In fact, I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I am yet to see a government or industrial project that has been spec'd out for vinyl grid. There's a reason for this. Load capacity. Vinyl cannot carry loads anywhere near to that of metal grid. In many cases, grid not only needs to hold the weight of the tile, but other accessories like track lighting, can lighting, or brackets that span across the grid for weight distribution. In other cases, the grid may need to have a seismic requirement. If you are contemplating a vinyl grid system for your project, let me show you all the pros and cons of each system before you decide. Today we will do an actual installation of a vinyl grid and tile system. As a qualification, we have installed several vinyl ceiling systems in the past, so we are well familiar with the components and installation methods. We're going to install this system in a residential basement. The size of the room is approximately 14 by 14. Let's start by looking at the packaging. Vinyl grid comes in these handy lightweight boxes that are only 8 feet long. This is an advantage over metal grid, as metal components are in 12-foot long sections and quite expensive to ship. Another advantage of vinyl is that it's highly unlikely that vinyl grid and tile will get damaged during shipment. Conversely, it is more likely that metal grid and their fiber-based tiles will get damaged during their shipment. Let's look inside. As we open up the cartons, we find this pamphlet from the company comparing the vinyl grid to the metal grid. Let's take a look at it. According to this company, only the HG grid, which is the vinyl grid, is suitable for high humidity environments. This is an untrue statement. Standard metal systems have a galvanized main beam and can be used in wet locations, including industrial showers. If your application were high humidity, then I would recommend a metal grid with an aluminum cap on the face. The cost of this metal system is still less than half of that of a vinyl one. Next on the list is that the vinyl system doesn't show rust or scratches, but the metal does. I agree that metal can show scratches and will eventually rust in wet locations in about 10 years if you don't have an aluminum cap. But plastic will also show scratches, especially deep ones. I'll rate this line item as partially true. Next, both systems use any 2x2 or 2x4 tile. Agreed on both. I will also add that metal systems can handle larger than 2x4 and smaller than 1x1 panels for special applications. Take a look at this. The upper part of this metal floating ceiling is a 12 by 12 inch pattern. Pretty neat looking. The next line item is that the UV stable vinyl grid is easy to cut, but not the metal. They're grabbing for straws here. Folks, there's no need to have UV protection on a ceiling grid system that's installed in a basement. That is, unless you don't intend on having a roof on your building. As far as vinyl being easy to cut, I'll agree with that. Metal is just as easy unless you have a fire-rated system. Next, we see that the vinyl grid can be installed by one person, but the metal system cannot be. This line item is completely false. I personally have installed more than 4 million square feet of metal grid systems, and most of that footage was by myself. 8-foot sections are easy to get home. Agreed. Metal systems are a maximum of 12 foot long and at times difficult to transport in a passenger car. Next, we have ceiling tiles are removable. Both of them have that ability. Vinyl grid is easy to determine how many pieces to buy, but not the metal. Again, grabbing for straws here. It's no easier or harder to determine either one. In most metal systems, 1 box of mains, 2 boxes of 4-foot tees, 2 boxes of 2-foot tees, and 1 box of molding covers 1,000 square feet. Next, we see that the vinyl is available in different colors and finishes, but the metal is not. Another very dishonest statement here. Metal systems have not only more color options available to you, but also you can get them in a dozen different styles and forms. Check out this metal Piranha Grid system at half the cost of vinyl. Lastly, we see that only the vinyl cross tees are removable. I don't know who comes up with this stuff, but they obviously never installed a metal grid system. This is a lie, folks. Metal cross tees are easily removable. I have been removing them for over 20 years. I will say, however, that metal stab grid systems are more difficult to remove than metal hook systems. The vinyl grid that we are about to install is a hook system. Clearly, this company is hoping to sell its products to an uninformed and uneducated customer. That's why I'm here, to help level the playing field. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at an overview of the vinyl grid. Vinyl grid systems only have a main runner and 2-foot tees. Metal systems have a main runner, 4-foot tees, and 2-foot tees. On top is the vinyl main runner that's 8 foot long. As stated previously, metal runners are 12 foot long. Below the vinyl runner is a metal 2-foot tee. Some differences are that the vinyl runner only has slots for tees every 2 foot, whereas the metal has slots every 6 inches on center. This is very important and will save you a lot of time when attaching your wires, as you will see in a minute. The vinyl runners are 2 inches tall. The metal are about 1.5 inches. The vinyl main runners have a plastic slide keeper that joins them together. The metal runners interlock together. Now, the 2-foot tees in the vinyl grid look like this and attach to the main runner by simply laying it in the enlarged slot like this. Another important note is that the wires to support the vinyl grid system must be installed every 2 lineal feet along the main runner where the tee connects and every 2 foot apart from main to main. With metal, you only install a wire every 4 lineal feet apart and 4 foot apart from the main. In other words, with vinyl, you'll be installing a lot of wires. This has to do with its inability to carry as much load as the metal. Vinyl grid cannot span a distance any longer than 2 foot without a wire. For every 4 wires hung in a vinyl system, you only need 1 wire for a metal system. This means 3 times as much labor for wire installation on vinyl. Let's move on to the installation. As with any sealing system, we recommend using a laser. Even more so with vinyl because of the sag potential in the main runner and the wall angle. The vinyl wall angle installation is identical to the metal angle. Simply place the angle on the wall and secure. One advantage to the vinyl angle is that it will conform to the imperfections in the wall without having to relieve it. One disadvantage, like we found out, is that this angle is only colored on 1/2 of the piece. We ended up having to tear one piece off the wall. Luckily, we had an extra. Now to the grid installation. We've installed our wall angle, our wires, and figured our layout by equalizing our borders. Now we're ready to install the grid. We cut the main to give us the proper border dimension and then installed the first and second